Hi everyone, welcome to this video and welcome to Electromass Hub channel. Today we're gonna talk about how to solve quadratic equations with 3 different methods, and anyone can use any of the methods. Anyone is capable to use any of these methods. It doesn't require a specific level or a specific advanced level in able to use any of the methods. Okay, just the basic algebra fundamentals. This is all you have to know in order to use any of the 3 methods. So let's start. We're gonna have over here for quadratic equation 3 methods, but first let's write the quadratic equation into our standard form. So for any quadratic equation, its standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And a, b, and c are the coefficient for x squared, and p for x, and c is a constant, and you can say it is a coefficient for x power 0 because this is x power 1. Okay, so just if you are wondering why c is standing alone, because it is multiplied by x power to 0, which is equal to 1. You can assume it this way. Anyway, let's start by the 3 different methods. First, we're gonna have factoring, and second, we're gonna have quadratic formula. And the quadratic formula, something you need to memorize a little bit, but once you get used to it, you will find yourself doing any equation, solving any quadratic equation with quadratic formula. And number 3 is completing the square. Completing the square is a very systematic method. Anyone can use it, okay? We're gonna start with the factoring. Number 1 is factoring. What is factoring? How to find factors for anything. So basically, if we have 12, what is the factors for 12? You can write it as 2 times 6. Okay, what if we have x squared? What is the factors for x squared? You can say it is x times x, or you can say it is x squared times x. Okay, what if we have 4x? What is the factors for 4x? How to find the factors for 4x? So you can say it is 4 times x, or 4x times 1, or 2x times 2. Okay? And that's how we're gonna find the factors for numbers for terms. Okay, so get used on this first. So let's go through factoring methods. Let's start with a very simple example. If we have x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, so how to solve such a thing? Or how to decide how to start? We have a little trick over here to start with. For example, in this example, we're gonna have over here negative and the positive. Okay, let's start from here, because this will eliminate a lot of factors for us. So first, what do we need first? We need 2 things. If you multiply them together, the result for a specific multiplication will give us 6. And 2 things, the same 2 things, if we add them together, will give us negative 5. Okay? So I need the result for multiplication to be positive 6, okay? But the result for adding will be negative 5. And in order to get such a thing, we're gonna need 2 identical signs, which is, in order to get positive number, such as 6 over here, you will need positive times positive. Positive times positive. Okay. But over here, the result for the adding were negative. So the other identical sign, the other only option that we have is negative times a negative. So for sure, over here, we're gonna have a negative number multiplying by a negative number. Next, let's decide the numbers. What are the factors for 6? We're gonna have 6 and 1, and 2 and 3. Okay, we already decided the sign for us. So we're gonna have negative 6 and the negative 1. Okay, is negative 6 plus negative 1 equal to negative 5? Absolutely no. But negative 2 times negative 3 is equal to 6, and their adding will be equal to negative 5. So over here, we're going to have negative 2 and the negative 3, and over there, we're going to have negative 2 plus negative 3 will give us our factors. So we're going to put them in two brackets equal to 0, and over here, x and x, okay, minus 2 and minus 3. And that's it. Okay, next we're gonna find what might be x is equal to. So for quadratic equation, why it is called a quadratic equation? Because the highest power that we have is 2. Okay, and the highest power in whatever equation we're gonna deal with is the thing that will decide for us how many results we're gonna have. Since the highest power is 2, we are not dealing with x power 3. If we are dealing with x power 3, then we're gonna have 3 results. But since we are dealing with x squared, so we're gonna have 2 things over here. The first thing, let me say this first also. Okay, we have 2 brackets multiplying by each other is equal to 0. This means that either one of this multiplication is equal to 0 or both of them. So we're gonna find it in both cases. So the first bracket is x minus 2 is equal to 0. From here, we can conclude that x is equal to 2. Okay, and over there we're gonna have, from the second bracket, we're gonna have x minus 3 is equal to 0. So from here also we conclude that x is equal to 3. Okay, so our final result is x is equal to 2 and 3. And that is for factorization. If anyone has any question about this, tell me in the comments. And if anyone need more explanation about any part, also tell me in the comments. Next, we're gonna have what? Next method is quadratic formula. Yeah, let me say something first. About the factorization, we cannot apply factorization on every quadratic equation. It has to be factorable. Okay, it's a straightforward method and it's a very simple method, but the equation must be factorable. Okay, next we're gonna have second way is quadratic formula. So quadratic formula is a formula that we're gonna need to memorize in order to solve that. And this method, you can use it to solve any quadratic equation. It's very simple and very beautiful. Okay, so let's start. The formula is x is equal to, first we're gonna have negative b, next plus or minus. That means that we're gonna find this equation, the result, one time with plus and one time with minus. This is how we're gonna get 2 results. Okay, next we're gonna have a square root of p squared minus 4ac over 2a. Let's take an example. Okay, if we're gonna have over here 2x squared minus 4x minus 6 is equal to 0. First, let's identify our coefficient. So from this equation, we're gonna have a is equal to 2 B is equal to -4, and C is equal to -6. Now, let's apply this on the formulas that we're gonna have. What are we gonna have over there? We're gonna have x is equal to negative b. First, we're gonna have negative b. So, negative. I need you to open bracket and put whatever b you're gonna have, include also its sign inside the bracket. -4. First, write everything as it is. Okay, so if we did any mistake, we can come back to it and see where is the mistakes happen. Okay, next, plus or minus square root of, gonna extend this a little bit. Okay, b square, again, put it in a bracket. B is equal to -4, close the bracket, all of this squared, minus 4 multiplied, open bracket, a times c, 2 times -6, and all of this is underneath the square root. Okay, over 2 times a. A is 2. 2 times 2. Okay, a, the coefficient for x square is 2. A is 2 over there. Okay. Next. Now let's calculate some of this. X is equal to, the denominator is 4. Okay. From the first over there, we're gonna have negative times negative is equal to positive, so we're gonna have 4. Plus or minus square root. We're gonna have -4, all of the -4 squared. Okay, so -4 times -4 is 16, minus, okay, 2 times -6, -12, 2 times -6, -12, okay, times 4 is equal to what? -48. So we're gonna have over here -48 equal to 4 plus or minus 16 minus 16 minus is plus. So square root of 16 plus 48, this is underneath the square root, we're gonna have 16 plus 48 is equal to square root of 64. So x will be equal to 4, 1 time plus square root of 64 over 4, and 1 time 4 minus square root of 64 over 4. Okay, and from here we can get a result, and from here we can get the second result. Okay, a square root of 64 is 8. 4 over here we're gonna have 4 plus 8 over 4 is equal 12 over 4, 3. Okay, and over here we're gonna have x is equal to 4 minus 8 over 4. This will be equal to -4 over 4 is equal to -1. So x is equal to 3 and the -1. The plus and the minus over there is the reason why we get two results. One time with a plus and one time with a minus. Even for somehow or for some reason, you get the same numbers. Also write both of them. Okay? This is for our second method. Third method. By the way, quadratic formula, you can solve any quadratic equation with it. Number 3. Completing the square. So completing the square is a very, very systematic way. It has the same steps. The steps will never change. So let's do them together. Let's take an example over there. If we have x square plus 6x minus 7 is equal to 0. I'm gonna write the steps over here. First, we're gonna have to isolate the constant item. Okay, isolate the constant. So this is mean, according to the standard formula, you're gonna bring c to the other side. Okay, to the other side. Where is our constant item over here? Is -7. Number 2, after you isolate c, you're gonna take half of the coefficient of x. Half of the coefficient of x. Okay, then square this, then add it to both sides. Okay, let's see how we're gonna apply this. So first, as we said, we're gonna bring the constant to the other side. This is mean we're gonna bring -7 to the other side with +7. Okay, then we're gonna find half the coefficient of x. Okay, half of the coefficient for x. Since we have 6 over here, then half of the coefficient is 3. Okay, then we're gonna have x squared, and after we find it, so half of the coefficient is 3, we're gonna square 3, and then we're gonna add it to both sides. So we're gonna have over here x squared plus 6x. What is square power is 3 power 2 is 9. So plus 9 on this side equal to 7 plus 9 on the other side. Over here, you may wonder that I might change the equation, but actually no, the equation is still balanced. Since whatever you did on one side, you did the same on the other side. So your equation is still the same, is still balanced. Okay, next. So what are we gonna do over here? We're gonna solve it very normally. We're gonna have x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 16. Okay, we're gonna factor this part only, this left hand side of the equation. Then what we're gonna have? We're gonna have x times x plus 3 multiply by x plus 3 is equal to 16. Okay, if you are wondering how did we factor this, so we need two numbers. Their multiplication is 9, okay, and their adding is 6. Okay, what are the factors for 9? 9 and 1 or 3 and 3. Their adding is 6. Okay, since all the signs are positive, we don't have to wonder about this, or we don't have to go through the sign thing since everything is positive. Okay, so next over here we can write this as, we can say we are having over here x plus 3 square, we have the repeated bracket, is equal to 16. Take square root for both sides of the equation, square root of this and square root of this. Okay, now this will take space, let's delete this. So we're gonna have over there x plus 3 is equal to square root of 16 is 4 or -4. So we can say positive or -4. So we're gonna find this equation in terms of positive and in terms of negative. Okay, first we're gonna have x plus 3 is equal to 4. In this case, x is equal to 1. 4 minus 3. In the other case, we're gonna have x plus 3 is equal to -4. In this case, x will be equal to -4 minus 3 is equal to -7. Okay, so the result over here is 1 and 7. Okay, And I know might sound a little bit cheating because over here we use factoring. This is why factoring is very important, and you can use it as a part of a solution for something else. Okay, it doesn't have to be always solve with factors and that's it. We said it's very systematic. 2 steps. First step, take the coefficient for x. Okay, then find half of this coefficient, then square it, then add it to both sides, and your equation will still balance. And that's it for today. Please, if anyone has any question, and if anyone want me to explain a specific thing about quadratic equation or anything in math or linear algebra or algebra, please leave me a comment and show me your support by subscribing. Please have a good day, be proud of yourself, and trust yourself. Thank you all for your time. Bye-bye.